period to phase out po, ano. Unang-una, under dun sa ating franchising guidelines, no. Kailangan po bago ma-phase out yan ay meron na tayong approved LTPRP, no. So hanggat wala yung LTPRP, hindi natin mape-phase out yung mga jeepney na yan. We'll allow them to operate as long as these jeepneys are roadworthy, no?
Yes, I asked that question, Mr. Secretary, dahil may mga cooperative na awarded supposed to be 60 units pero ang naibigay lang ng bangko ay 15 units. So ano ang gagamitin na sasakyan? Maybe there's a logic behind. Pabayaan muna natin yung sinabi nga po ninyo na hindi i-phase out yung traditional jeepneys. But the problem is, there was an issue nung last hearing na hindi irerehistro yung mga jeepneys na ito. Ha? Pag hindi consolidated. That issue was brought out in the last hearing. Diba? Sinabi nga ninyo, after April 30, when the deadline for consolidation ends, hindi na nga pwedeng i-rehistro, hindi na pwedeng tumakbo yung hindi nag-consolidate. Now, what is the stand now, the DOTR, dito sa issue na ito? Kasi nag-iiba eh.
Under the franchising guidelines, no?
Mr. Chair, yung tama po Mr. Chair, yung after April 30 po when we were asked last hearing kung makakapagrehistro pa sila as public utility vehicle at i-confirm pa sila as public utility vehicle. As of now po, yung after April 30, which is the deadline, hindi na po sila mako-confirm.
So in other words, when you say that, hindi na sila makalabas. Which is contrary to the statement of the Secretary.
Mr. Chair, yun pong binabanggit po ni Secretary na 27 months dun sa bagong guidelines na in-issue from approval of the LPTRP. Ang scenario po doon, Mr. Chair, is yung consolidated po. Mr. Chair, he was trying to explain, Mr. Chair, that the refleeting ng pagpalit ng mga modernized units ay pinahaba hanggang dun sa approval ng LPTRP. In fact, 27 months yung maximum from the approval of the LPTRP bago pa sila mapapalitan ng bagong units, Mr. Chair.
So, the specific question, after April 30, may re-registro pa ba yung hindi nag-consolidate? Second question, makapag-apply ba sila ng ruta nila after April 30? Specific na yung aking tanong.
Mr. Chair,
Sagutin po ninyo yung tanong ko.
Mr. Chair, hindi na po as public utility vehicle, Mr. Chair.
So, phase out. Akala ko ba gradual ang phase out ninyo? At sinabi rin ni Mr. Secretary na pwede silang no phase out. Kaya nga tinanong ko if I understood the answer of the Secretary well.
Mr. Chair, that is why the Secretary is explaining that the industry consolidation component is really the first component that the government is undertaking to
industry consolidation.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Oh. Tinanong ko na rin yan eh, kung may consolidation ba, may problema? Kung walang consolidation, may problema ba? Bakit natahimik kayo? Kasi as Madam Stella Kimbo stated in the last hearing, if I remember it right, di ba tinanong ko na Yuse Quebra, yung consolidation, would it mean consolidation of franchises or consolidation of the operations of the public utility vehicles?
Both.
Mr. Chair.
Now, are you the one supposed to answer that, or Yuse Quebra? I brought that out. The Honorable Kimbo brought that out in the last hearing. Sino ang sasagot doon?
Mr. Chair, can I answer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung consolidation po is a consolidation of the franchise and operations, no. So ang sinasabi po natin, no, deadline for consolidation is April 30, no. If the consolidation is implemented, no, yun pong franchise will be transferred to the cooperative or to the corporation, no. And then kung hindi po magko-consolidate, no, ay hindi na po marirenew yung kanilang franchise individually. And
Mr.
this-
Secretary, I think parang ang hirap pong tanggapin yung sinasabi po ninyo eh. Kasi parang, well, we are encouraging our community, our Filipino people to be more entrepreneur. Kasi ito po kasi kanila eh, ano nila ito, kabuhayan po nila ito eh. As a matter of fact, yung pong prangkisa, ilalagaan nila for so many years eh. Solo po yung prangkisa nila, buhay po nila to. Kukunin po natin ang kanilang jeep, kukunin natin ang kanilang prangkisa, kukunin na natin ang kanilang seguridad, kukunin po natin ang kanilang kabuhayan. And these corporations, yung mga corporation, mayayaman na po yan. But these people are so poor na doon na po na sila umaasa sa kanila pong jeep, sa kanilang prangkisa, pero kukunin po natin sa kanila. And what we are expecting sana, dahil nga akala po namin na yung pong April or March 22 deadline will be in favor of non-consolidation. As a matter of fact, si Mr. Speaker po, nagsalita siya na dapat po ang consolidation will be optional. And when we have spoken with the Speaker, he told us that he's going to speak with the President. Nasa media po yan eh. And now that we are realizing that the consolidation ay yung po ang magiging deadline, eh para po bang sinaksak na naman po kami sa likod nito? Kawawa po yung mga tao, Mr. Secretary. And I believe na dapat po ang consolidation is optional. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, if I may, allow me, kasi po ang because ang ating pong fundamental aim ng ating pong programa is to be more safe, efficient, reliant, convenient, affordable, and climate change protected, sustainable environmentally. Di ba yun ang sinasabi ng programa natin?
Yes.
Di ba? At kung titignan natin doon sa tema ng affordable, parang talon-talo na po yung ating pong mga kooperatiba, yung ating pong mga drivers. Dahil ang nangyari po, Mr. Secretary, wala po tayong naganap na bidding dito. At yun ang sinasabi po ni Congressman Joey Salceda when we have a third hearing. Bakit walang auction, walang bidding? And even the land bank that supposedly pinag-aralan na mabuti to, and we will be asking the land bank as well to submit to us, kasi tinanong niya ni Joey Salceda eh. Tinanong niya yung mismong minutes na nangyari sa approval noong 2017 or 2016 about this loan package, which is detrimental to the depositors like us. Kasi hindi secured yung aming yung perang pinautang natin sa kanila eh. Why? No investment, no ownership, no collateral. Inaprubahan na lang to ng land bank. Just like that. Ang sabi nga ng taga-land bank cheap loan. Di ba? At maaari na malugi ang land bank dyan. That's a problem that we are encountering right now, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman. Because paano na kung mag-fail yung cooperative? Like for example, ako may kasama ako mamaya, darating alauna. Unang-una silang Mr. Secretary, unang-una po sila na nag-consolidate. Unang-una po sila nag-modernize. Ang kanila pong nakaalat sa kanila ay 50. Sa 50 units nila, ang meron po silang modernize ngayon is 20 units. Pero sa 20 units na yon, tamang-tama lang ang kita nila. At kapag pinalta nila yung another 30 units, babaksak na sila. At 3 taon pa lamang sila nagbabayad. At ang sinasabi nga nila, they cannot maintain already in accordance with their preventive maintenance services, hindi na rin sila makakope up sa binabayad nila. Unlike before, na yung ating pong mga jeep, mga utility vehicle owned by the different drivers. They are maintaining their own vehicle. Ang feeling nila, negosyo sana kung perpekto po yung kooperatiba, yung corporation, but not all, Mr. Secretary. And majority of them, hindi po nila kaya. Yung pagpapautang, isa pa pong problema dito, Mr. Chairman, ano? Mr. Secretary, before I ask the Land Bank, ano, saka yung DNR. Kasi according sa statistics, Mr. Chairman, na nakuha ko po, ang number one na nagko-contribute, kasi ang isang premise natin yung climate change, di ba? Ito ang isa sa programa natin. Bakit natin tayo nag-modernize? Because we wanted to contribute doon sa tinatawag nating carbon credits, at the same time, mabawasan yung ating pong carbon monoxide sa sulfuric content ng ating pong gas emission. Tama, correct. Magtutulong-tulong po tayo doon. And as a matter of fact, kung titingnan mo ang mga pollutants natin sa buong Pilipinas at sa buong mundo, ang number one nagko-contribute dito ay yung electricity and heat production. Number one sila, 25%. Agriculture, forestry, and other land use, 24% sila. Industry, yung mga industry natin dito na marami, 21% sila. Ang transportation is only 14% ang contribution niya pagdating sa climate change. Now, sa 14% na yan, so sa gas consumption natin, dito sa Pilipinas, ito statistics to dito ginawa to petrol, gas. Ang kinocontribute niya, 73% sa gas consumption, electric 11%, hybrid 8%, sa diesel 6.4%. At sa 6.4% na yan, yung ating mga drivers na nag-aari ng mga jeep, ang number one pa dyan, yung private cars, 1.27 million. Ang tricycle, motorcycle, yung mga bokyo, 8.4 million sila. Ang jeeps, 146,000 lang tayo. And according sa LTFRB, nabawasan pa to. Yung 146,000 dahil nag-consolidate tayo. In other words, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, yung contribution ng jeepney na binabanggit natin doon sa gas emission, na siyang fundamental aim ng ating programa, ay hindi po tayo nagmamatch. Unahin po natin yung mga private cars, unahin po natin yung mga hybrid, unahin po natin yung mga ibang industry, yung ating po mga jet fuel ng ating mga eroplano, yung ating mga sea cargo na nagko-contribute sa ating pong pollution. Why not focus on them? These drivers owned that property, that vehicle, that franchise. Kinuha natin. That is the main problem that is not being solved by your fundamental aim to resolve the safety, efficiency, reliability, affordability, problema natin. And most especially, yung tinatawag po ninyong climate change free. Yung tinatawag natin climate friendly. So Mr. Secretary, yung po ang tanong ko, ang liit na porsyento po na kinocontribute ng ating pong mga jeepney. Why focus on this? Ang dami pong sasakyan. Huwag yung maliit na kabuhayan ng ating mga kababayan. Yun po sana ang gusto namin malaman, Mr. Secretary. And I think the President is not being given this right statistics. Statistics po to. 6.46% ang diesel sa consumption ng ating oil. At kung 6.46 yan, yung jeepney, nagko-contribute lang siya ng maliit na percentage para sa sulfuric content and the carbon monoxide content, which in relation to your submitted to us, ay nag-contribute siya, driver. Kaya ito, I will question the DNR on this Because ang sinasabi niya dito, PUJs are accountable for emitting the following: 48% of particulate matter, 27% of sulfur oxide, 21% of nitrogen oxide. Are you serious? Or you are just deceiving all of us just to protect others? Yung Euro 4, Mr. Secretary, obsolete na po yun. Euro 7 na po tayo. And according sa Euro 4, which is 1 gram per kilometer, yung Euro 7 is 0.50 milligrams per kilometer na. Why nandun pa rin tayo sa Euro 4? Ang binibigyan natin ng registration Bakit sila pa rin ang binibigyan natin sa DNR, sa EMB, nang ina-accredit natin? Sila lang. Because they are junk, cheap, and then ibabasura sa atin? Why not upgrade in accordance with the Republic Act 8749 every 2 years? Ang sinasabi sa batas, every 2 years, the department shall revise and publish the standards every 2 years or as the need arises. 2016 pa tayo, inaprubahan natin, sinabi natin Euro 4. Dahil siya ay nag-emit lang not more than 1 gram per kilometer. Dito, sinasabi ng batas, kada 2 taon. Bakit hindi nyo upgrade at hindi nyo sundan ang Republic Act 8749, yung Philippine Clean Air Act? Yun ang tanong ko, Mr. Secretary.
Pwede pong sumagot, Mr. Chair. Alam niyo po, yung requirement na Euro 4 po is just an option, no? In fact, mas gusto nga namin yung mas efficient na engine, no? And even electric vehicles, no? So ang minimum po is Euro 4, but yung Euro 5, Euro 6, Euro 7 and electric vehicles are more welcome.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary. Kung talagang welcome po yun, aside from Euro 4, why not direct, I mean, hindi na po kayo, DNR, pero dapat nag-ano po kayo, nag-consolidate kayo ng mga policy. Why not put in the policy ng DNR na hindi lang Euro 4 and even rehabilitation of the engines? Kasi ang titingnan natin po na ang problema po natin ay yung contribution ng gas emission sa climate. Bakit natin pakikialaman ng chassis? Bakit natin pakikialaman ng design ng sasakyan? Di ba dapat yung engine lang? And there are those additives that's very successful. I have watched all the YouTubes, no? Ang dami, DMX, STP, LBX from Singapore, na kapag nilagay mo doon, hindi na siya nagpo-produce ng carbon emission, hindi na siya yung kanyang piston hindi na what we call that? Naggaganyan at nagbubuo siya ng carbon na nilalabas ng usok. Hindi na. Why not try to make it more simple for the drivers? Kahit dyan muna sa drivers kasi ilan lang sila. Bigyan natin yung mga malalaking company dito na nagko-contribute ng pollution, ng pollutants. Sino-sino yan mga yan? Ang dami mga industry, ang dami mga car manufacturing, ang dami yung mga tricycle na manufacturing company. Why focus on the drivers ng jeepney? Yun lang po yung aming katanungan, Mr. Secretary, kasi kami po yung nasa ground eh. Ang mga congressman ito pupunta sa kanilang distrito, pupunta-puntahan sila ng kanilang mga drivers. Ito ang sinasabi nila. Kukunin ng aming jeep. Hindi kami paparehistro. Hindi kami paparehistro hanggang hindi kami consolidated. Mawawala ang aming jeep, mawawala ang aming prangkisa, magugutom kami. Ano ang gagawin mo sa amin? Congressman, pag nagutom ang aking mga anak, papatay ako. Hindi ba tayo natatakot sa repercussion? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Sinabi sa akin to. Kaya nakakatakot sa amin, nagpasalamat kami na na-stop to, but unfortunately, kung consolidation din lang ang pinag-uusapan po natin, magkakaroon pa rin po tayo ng problema. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before we proceed, please allow me to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Franz Castro, one of our deputy minority leader and representing ACT Teachers Party List. Doon po sa kwan ni Dan Fernandez, yung what was your stand, Mr. Secretary, sa Euro 4 engines na optional?
Your Honor, yung Euro 4 po is the minimum po.
The minimum. Kasi from the previous hearing, ito po yung stumbling block or obstacle para po dun sa ating local manufacturers like Sarao and Francisco para po makakuha sila ng units. Kasi according to them, nahihirapan sila na mag-import ng Euro 4 engines. And that is why, if you look around 2017, wala kayong makitang maraming modernized na jeepney talaga. minibuses ang jeepney na natin ngayon, Mr. Secretary.